If it's bad and online, or in the papers, then he's usually behind it. Mickey Taylor, 70, owner of Fonda Books, home of the tell-all celebrity biography. Dripping in money and lacking in taste, subtlety is not Mickey's thing, and he can spot a battered celebrity with a juicy tale to tell a mile off. Publisher and agent of missing star Honey Hunter. Candy Dace, Australian, mid-20s, ruthlessly ambitious assistant producer with ambitions as high as the splits in her revealing dresses, will do whatever it takes to climb the career ladder, preferably in 6-inch heels. Tabitha Tate, reporter on tabloid newspaper The Herald and podcast host. Late 20s, from New York, came to London to further her credentials before heading to Hollywood, where she wants to make it big. Sassy, determined, and dangerously ambitious. Dead. Madeleine Kane, former owner of CITV and stunningly beautiful wife of billionaire Chad. He inherited the network that makes Falcon Bay following her on-screen death during the broadcast of the now infamous Christmas Day live episode 4 months ago. Missing. Honey Hunter, 50, Oscar-winning actress and former lover of Jake Monroe. She was due to take a leading role in Falcon Bay during its Christmas Day live episode, but disappeared out of the public eye on the eve of her big comeback and hasn't been seen since. Part 1. Chapter 1. February. Every brightly decorated street, building, bar or restaurant, and even all the houses the cab from Louis Armstrong International Airport passed on the way to their hotel, looked exactly how Sheena McQueen had always imagined they would during New Orleans' world-famous Mardi Gras celebrations. Even when she'd backpacked around the globe in her 20s before setting up the now world-famous McQueen Agency in London, Sheena had never been to the Deep South. It truly looked magnificent. The quaint wooden houses that popped out of the landscape reminded her of George Rodriguez's famous Cajun paintings. She had an original of his blue dog at home, and had always loved the vibrancy of it, the way his work seemed to come alive. It was the only pet she'd ever allow in her pristine home, although there had certainly been some animals passing through her doors. She was just making a mental note to try to visit his studios to pick up something to add to her collection, when she reminded herself why she was here, and refocused on what was going to be an incredibly difficult day ahead. In defence of finding herself distracted, she reasoned that the decision to hold Madeleine Kane's funeral in the midst of a carnival was bizarre, rather like the plot from one of the soap operas her renowned clients appeared in. She really hadn't wanted to come, but her number one client, Catherine Bell, was attending, and despite Sheena's best efforts, nothing, not even Falcon Bay executives to deny Catherine official leave, could stop her. Even though Falcon Bay was the show that had made her a star, Catherine didn't always play by its rules. She had been determined to attend, and as it certainly wasn't safe to let her go alone, Sheena had extended her role as agent into that of chaperone. They'd barely spoken a word on their 2-hour boat journey from St. Augustine's, where Falcon Bay was filmed, to Paris to catch their 13-hour flight to America. But Sheena had been glad of the pods in first class that kept them apart, helping to ease the awkwardness of how tense Catherine clearly was. The morning after checking into their suites at the Maison de la Luz, a stunning boutique guest house close to the French Quarter in the city, they were picked up by a limousine to join the Kane family on the famous Delta Queen steamboat. Since Catherine had officially been cleared by the police of any involvement in her co-star Madeleine's death, Sheena hoped her continued silence, although uncomfortable to endure, could ultimately work in their favour. The last thing she needed was for Catherine to say something she shouldn't when the case had finally been closed. But with the way she was acting, which was